Hello everybody, this is Reviews and More, back with another quick review. This is another pen or writing utensil review. This is from Amazon Basics. This is their standard Amazon Basics gel pen pack. This is a 12 pack and it sells for just under $12, so you're paying like 95 cents per pen. This is the multicolor pack. They have a set all in blue, all in black, and this multicolor pack here. These are meant to be like a direct competitor to the G2 Pilots, which are kind of like the standard go-to pen for a lot of people in the gel pen kind of arena, for lack of a better term. G2 Pilot obviously is like the #1 selling pen in the world, and this, is, as you can see here, looks very similar, including the gel ink cartridge there, the gel ink pen tube, as well as it being a knockback pen. So you just click it and get going. Has the standard rubberized grip, similar to what you see on a G2 Pilot. Although I will say this about this, this grip is far superior to the G2 Pilot. It holds much better over time. It's not nearly as smooth as the G2 Pilot grip is. It kind of has that textured look to it, and it's much more easy to hold for extended periods of time writing. So that's the one big difference right off the bat. You're going to hear me comparing a lot to the G2 Pilot back and forth on this because that is what they're kind of going for. The look of the pen, I believe, is better, but that's really a matter of taste. It's got the metal, the little metal cap in the front, where the G2s tend to just have plastic. The operation is identical nearly. Nothing really changes. Same kind of pen mechanics, same kind of clipping mechanics, the clicking pen, everything else. Nothing too different, nothing too different about the look overall, except for that metal point that you see there on the Amazon Basics version. Overall, the build quality is pretty similar. Everything operates smoothly. You see a little bit of staining on my fingers right there because I let a little bit of ink out. I will say this about it, and you're going to notice this as we're running through this review, is that the ink flow on these is much, much quicker than I would say the G2s are, and that has pros and cons. The biggest pro is it's a smoother writing experience, even with the same pen tip thickness. These are all 0.7 millimeter, and the G2 Pilot, you see me compare later on, is also a 0.7 millimeter. Here you see me just kind of running through some basic shapes just to get an idea of how it feels. You don't see a whole lot of pooling, although you do have a little bit more pooling than you do with the G2s. And that, I think, has more to do with the flow rate and how quickly the ink is coming out of the actual pen itself. It dries very quickly. All this video is done in real time, so as long as you're not running a highlighter over it a second after you write, or you're not smudging, this might not be the perfect pen for left-handed writers, because if you're writing with your left hand and you smudge with the meat part of your hand and you kind of rub into it, it might not dry in time. Overall, the pen does come out, again, very, very quickly. So for a 0.7 millimeter, it does feel like the writing is a bit thicker compared to the G2 Pilot. But again, that's really more of a matter of taste. So if you like the quick flow and the smooth writing more so than the detail, you can go with that. Amazon Basics does not offer a 0.5 millimeter, so it doesn't have there is no ultrafine option, so you're kind of limited there. So if you don't like the flow of the pen, you're not going to be very satisfied with it. Amazon, of course, is a very generous return policy, especially on their Amazon Basics products. If you don't like them, they just take them back, no muss, no fuss. And you can kind of just go from there. Here you see all the various colors. I was surprised how vibrant the colors were. I was honestly kind of expecting some a little more dingy, a little more office appropriate, but these are very, very vibrant. I kind of enjoyed writing with the different colors just because normally you have colors that are a bit subdued with office style pens, and I consider these office pens or school pens. I don't consider these artistic pens in any way. So I was kind of interested to see how just bold the colors were, and I was actually very impressed with that overall. We're going to see some macro lens up close stuff towards the end of the video. If you want to skip to that, you can, just so you can kind of see what I was discussing with the pooling. There was no real hollowing out even when you write very quickly. So if you write very, very fast or very, very streaky, even when you do that, you don't see a whole lot of the actual streaks or the lines that you draw being hollowed out in the middle, because again, the ink flow is very, very fast. But you'll see that towards the end with the macro up close video. And now we're going to jump into a direct comparison with two red pens. One is the Amazon Basics, which I abbreviate AM there, and the other one is the G2 Pilot. Nothing too crazy about the difference. I will say I think the G2 Pilot is a little bit darker, and my camera doesn't want to focus, but the G2 Pilot's results are a little bit darker, and again, just for ergonomics sake, the grip on the Amazon Basics is superior. They kind of went out on that one. I think the G2 Pilot's kind of married to that look, and they don't want to change it more so than to keep the grip as effective. I feel like G2 Pilots kind of start slipping as you write longer and longer. Your hands might get a little sweaty, whereas the Amazon Basics pens are just much more grippy, much more textured, whereas the G2 Pilots are way smoother. Both are equally soft. I just think the Amazon Basics did a better job because they're able to innovate because they're not kind of stuck in with the old look. And there you see a comparison. Notice the G2 Pilot's a little darker, and there you see it up close. You see just standard G2 Pilot pen strokes, nothing too crazy, good ink flow, no hollowing out, not much pooling. You see a little bit lighter here, so it's still pretty vibrant. Still, there's not a whole lot of pooling going on because I was writing pretty quickly, but they're very, very close. In just a second, we'll do a side-by-side, or at least a one after the other. Here's G2 under a little bit more intense lighting, just so you can kind of see where it pops out. You can see a little bit of little nicks where the ink didn't flow perfectly. Then we jump over, sorry, that's G2, and then we can jump over to the Amazon Basics, and it looks much lighter under very, very intense light. And that's probably just because the ink flow wasn't quite as good. You see a little bit of pooling down there on the bottom of the A, and I mean, but these are all things that to the naked eye you're not going to see. So overall, really, really satisfied with the just overall impact of these pens. And for the price point, they're good. If you're looking for a big variety of pen sizes, like if you want a 1.0 or a 0.9 or a 0.5 millimeter, you're not going to get that here. They have fine pens. It's just 0.7 millimeter. It's the only option you get. But you do get a cool set of variety of colors, and the colors themselves are very vibrant considering they're a budget pen. You get paying under $1 a pen for these things compared to G2 Pilots, which typically are $1.25 to $1.50 depending on what edition or what size you're looking at. But overall, really satisfied with the overall construction of them, and they make a great alternative. And if you just want the look different, or if you don't like the G2 Pilot grips, these are a good option for you, where you get a lot of the benefits of a G2 Pilot with maybe a better grip and a better overall, smoother writing experience. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.